What is up, guys? This is the Law Story 45, and we are back with another cryptid episode. This cryptid episode is going to be by the Napa sea monster. Um, it is found off the coast of Napa, makes sense, in Cyprus. It's a popular tourist resort over there, and that's on the Mediterranean seafront over there. Most sightings have occurred around Cape Greco, as it's pronounced. It's pronounced with a Greko, not Greco, even though it's spelled that way. Um, it's known to local fishermen as Tu Filico Terras, which translates to the friendly monster. There haven't been any reports of it causing any harm, which is a good thing to hear. We always like to hear that with our cryptid tales. Um, it's been told to rip away and drag fishing nets, meaning that the fishers probably hate it because it impacts the industry rather poorly. There have been countless sightings of the creature from the depths, meaning that people have seen, just random things that they can't explain, and they call it out. Um, People have kind of called it like the Cyprus Loch Ness monster, and I guess you couldn't truly say it relates to that much in the fact because the Loch Ness monster is supposedly a plesiosaurus, which was actually a dinosaur. So it's not. It's a cryptid in the sense that it's a dinosaur, but it's not. This one right here is more of a true cryptid in the fact that it has no true roots. We have no idea what it truly is. We have an ideal that it exists, but we're not sure what it is. We have no formed ideals or anything like that. Uh, there is some folklore of the thing in various settings by tourists and locals. Not any photographs, in all honesty, apart from the one I'm showing you at the beginning of this video for the first 30 seconds. Um, there have been some short films and pictures, nothing that's truly substantial. There was a episode of Destination Truth on Sci-Fi, uh, which, if you want to look it up, it's in Series 4, it's episode 13. That featured it in it, and I think it'd be something cool if you want to learn a little bit more about it and watch some stuff, I always like enjoying that show. So, make sure you check that out, guys. Many believers of the myth have linked it with common sea monsters of the Greek mythology called Scylla. I'm going to pronounce it. It's Scylla. I'm not sure that would be treated as a Spanish pronunciation, or the the double L's would be treated as a Y or not. I'm not sure. So I can't pronounce that to the best of my ability. That was depicted in mosaics that remain to this very day in the House of Dionysus, which, for those of you who don't know, the House of Dionysus is basically a temple to the Greek god Dionysus. He was the Greek god of harvest and wine and stuff. He was said to be truly like a human kind of god because he spent the many, many early years of his life on Earth and in Greece, for that matter. They cannot be found in a Roman villa, which was from the 3rd century AD, and I'm going to say this wrong, Paphos, Cyprus. For anyone who actually lives over there in that area, if you want to correct me at all, I'd be grateful for it. Many ancient authorities describe it as a monstrous form of a giant maiden in torso, with a serpent for its lower body having 6 snarling dog heads issuing from its midriff, including their 12 forelimbs. This is the form described by, oh gosh, people really like testing me with these names, Hyginus Apollodorus and Suda. Among so many others, this is the form most often depicted on paintings, murals, mosaics, basically that kind of stuff. According to the description from Gaius Julius Hyginus, I can't pronounce these names at all, guys. I'm just murdering them so bad. I feel so bad about it. That guy was a Latin author, and it possessed more heads than vase painters could paint, and whoever encountered it was likely killed almost instantaneously. Government officials have started a search for the monster and its existence. They hope of spotting it, and it remains a highlight for many tourists on boating day trips. Hotels in close proximity of the sightings tend to get a lot of money from, just people wanting to come there and see the monster. It has no possible link to any sea monster, and it and any monster said to be living in Coral's Dam, which reports are more likely to be crocodile-type creatures that have been kept as pets but unlawfully released. So, the few things that we want to go over whenever we look at a cryptid myth and anything. The first thing first is, does this have ancient roots? If it has ancient roots, there is doubtful that it is not. There's doubtful that something like unreleased, crocodiles that have been released that people didn't like anymore. Because if you look at that, if it has ancient roots, clearly this has to go back to a time before we, with our knowledge, settled here. It doesn't seem harmful, and for that I'm thankful, A. But that would tell you that perhaps this creature could be a fake, or perhaps this creature is just a cryptid that wants to be left alone to have its society decay as far as it has already done. Apparently there's no links to this, meaning that if we look at its birth pattern and how it can grow, we just have to realize that most cryptids either are known as aliens, meaning that they do not come from Earth, they were not made by Earth, and there's something within Earth that could have possibly ever led to their existence. This one is probably actually either A, through dinosaurs, you'd have to say, because I'm guessing this could be some kind of dinosaur evolution pattern that is gone astray. Perhaps it is a surviving dinosaur that we have never found any bones of. There are numerous possibilities. If you want to be really far out there and you want to be extremely strange, go ahead and say that this was perhaps created in a myth and some... Okay, here's where the strange part comes in. Some quote-unquote wizard made this come to life via his images that he had seen on the vases. That's kind of far out there, so I'm not gonna, that's clearly the answer. I'm gonna say that it probably is an evolutional trait, or it doesn't exist. Now, in my opinion, I would say it exists. Or if it doesn't exist, I would say that there's something there that is not up to par with what humans have knowledge of. Because clearly this is something that has come from an ancient time, meaning back when Rome and Egypt were back then there. And I mean, if that is true, then we need to look at that as something that has potential to have changed over the years. Perhaps in modern day, it has de-evolved from the state that it once was as the furious beast, as it was described earlier. Perhaps it is now a easier version of the thing, meaning that doesn't have 12 heads sticking out of its body. It is more of an eel with 12 heads per se. You know, we limit it down to something that isn't as strong and as deadly as it once was and has been described. I think another thing to look at is, has the area had myths of this? And as we can see here, it does indeed have myths. And if it has myths of it, there's a good chance that it could either A, be a story told to make sure children didn't go swimming into the lake, or B, it is a true creature, because the Loch Ness Monster is based off of the myth when a saint tried to cross the loch and the monster appeared before him, and he, I think there was some battle between the monster and him, and then the monster ran away or whatever. I'm sorry, I'm not very familiar with the Loch Ness Monster tale. I haven't studied the Loch Ness Monster in depth because I am not a big fan of it. I believe that it's been hoaxed too many times to have a true feel for it. But I have a minute left. I think we've gotten some very sufficient information on this cryptid. I'll let you decide. Do me a favor and in the comments below, post your decision on this and what you think of it. In the description, I'll put the 12 or 10 factors I think that you need to take into effect when you look at this myth, and I'll give you a link to the site that I'm using at the moment. I just wanted to give you a quick message saying, guys, that I've noticed that you really like my cryptid videos. The other Cryptid Dover Demon video got 864 views as of November 22nd, 2011. And that is something great to hear for you guys. I really like seeing that. I'll continue to post more of these now. And best of luck to you guys. Have a nice day. Do me a favor and like, dislike, comment, subscribe. I'm sorry that people who just come here for the cryptid myth don't get to see just the cryptid myth. But I believe if you truly would prefer me not to have Model 4 3 gameplay in the background, I can change that, and I will probably put a private link to a private video in the description also for you guys to view. Have a nice day, and I'll see you on whatever day I post another video.